Hey guys, so I'm going to be making vegetable sauce, and like I said in the title of the video, I'm making a vegetable sauce with spinach and kale. This is for people that live abroad that cannot get our local vegetables. This is always an alternative. So I've got 2 bags of spinach which I'm washing. So once I wash it, I blanch it in hot water, boiling water, which I will just put it into it. This helps to reduce the spinach in terms of the volume, and also because spinach has a lot of water in it, if you put it raw in your sauce, it makes it quite watery. So doing this will also help to prevent from all that happening when we are cooking. So I've blanched my spinach here. You can see it didn't lose much of the nutrients. You can see the water is really not green as if you lost the nutrients. So this is good. And I'm also rinsing off with cold water so that it doesn't keep cooking. Once I do that, I'm going to leave this and then move to the next point. So this is it. That's it here. I'm going to just squeeze out the water. You can see that I'm not losing any nutrient. It's still as green as ever, and I've reduced this. This will help my spinach very well, or my sauce very well. It won't be watery. You can also use this for vegetable soup, but I'm not making vegetable soup today. I'm making sauce. Okay, so I've got my dry fish. Like I said, this is a fish vegetable sauce, so I'm using dry fish here. And with a dry fish, you always have to allow it to soak for some few minutes. And I'm using this fish pie mix that I got in Lidl. Sometimes I just see some things and I take it and I'm thinking of what to do with it. So I decided to buy this frozen fish pie mix. It's a mixture of different fishes. So I just put it in water and just to remove the ice in it. And the next thing I'm going to do now is to prepare my kale. So this is kale. I've got a pack of kale here. Kale is a vegetable that is really quite, stronger than ugu. So this is what I normally do with it. I remove this, the sticks. Yes, the stalks. Sorry, not the stick, the stalks. So I try to remove as much as I can. And yeah, that's it here before I wash it. So you can see I don't put a lot of kale. So the quantity of kale to spinach is 2:1, 2 bags of spinach to 1 of kale, because kale has more volume. Spinach is normally, once you put it in, it shrinks a lot. You barely see anything. That's why I'm using a ratio of 2:1. So I'm washing my kale, as you can see here. So that's what I'm doing. And once it is washed, I am going to do the next thing, which I normally do to my kale to make it not to be very hard. A lot of people don't like kale because of the texture, so I avoid this by adding a little bit of olive oil into it and squeezing it with my hand. You can actually eat it raw as it is once you do this. So you see kale salad, sometimes you see people making kale salad. It's very, very nice. So to make your kale quite, not to be too rough in the mouth, just add a little bit of olive oil and then you squeeze it. You can see how it looks now. It doesn't look that, if I can use the Igbo word, jabri. So it's not that rough again. I've made it quite soft, and yeah, that's it. Our vegetable soup is going to start, but before then, while I keep this aside, I'm going to go back to washing my dry fish. If you are still watching my video and you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe to my channel, and also give me a thumbs up, like my video, and help my channel to grow. So I'm washing the dry fish now. As you can see, you need to wash it very well, remove the bones, and also make sure that there is no sand remaining. That is the thing with dry fish. So that's what I'm doing, just trying to wash, separate, and do it well. So once this is done, I'm going to make my stew or sauce. So I've got already blended tomatoes and peppers here. So this is a blend of tomatoes, pepper, onion, ginger, garlic, and I'm going to add my dry fish into it and allow them to cook together. So I like my dry fish to be soft, so this is why I add it to the tomatoes. I am not frying my tomatoes, so I just add it and then add all the ingredients, just seasoning. What I've added now is onions and garlic powder, and then I'm adding my seasoning cube here. Is there any other thing I added? Yeah, that's it. And just give it a little bit of stir to mix everything and then allow it to cook together. So what this does is to infuse the fish flavor into my tomatoes. This is what I do because I don't like frying a lot. Okay, if you are the frying type, you can cook your fish on its own, season your fish and cook it like you cook meat, and then fry your tomatoes as you want to. And now I'm going to be adding my oil. I normally like using a mixture of palm oil and vegetable oil, either sunflower oil or rapeseed oil. I added the palm oil because I'm making a fish based sauce. That's why I'm adding the palm oil. And in this sauce, you can also add a locally root to it, but I just didn't want to add that locally root. The palm oil is enough for me. So once the palm oil is added, I just allow the stew to simmer a bit, and then the next thing I'm going to do now is to chop my spinach. So I'm just going to roughly chop it a bit. I'm not going to chop it very tiny because spinach is something that once you put it into the soup, it just goes down. In Igbo, we say omuna too much, so it shrinks a lot. So it's just a rough chopping that I did just to get my stew, get it ready to go into the sauce. Okay, and yeah, here is our sauce now. The next thing I'm going to now do is to add our fish pie mix. Remember the fish pie mix I bought from Lidl? Yes, it goes in. So if you're in the UK, you can always buy that fish pie mix as, a quick something that you can use to cook. Sometimes you don't have time to go and buy fish and start doing all that big cooking. So this makes it easy. So this is a quick and simple one. As you can see, it goes quickly and you don't have to waste time in the kitchen, if I can say that. Yeah, so that's it here. You can see our stew, the oil is floating on top like we want in Nigeria. We always want the oil to be floating on top. Sorry, I added some seasoning just to be sure I checked my seasoning, and then the first thing I added is the kale. You can see the kale going in. Gently mix it together. Yes, it's just to make sure that all the fishes don't break, but if it breaks, it's not a problem. This one is as you are scooping your fish, anyone you get, it's really something that is quite enjoyable, very nice. So whether it breaks or not, it doesn't matter. It's like a sauce. Okay, you don't need to have the very big lump of fishes. So that's it here. I allowed the kale to simmer for about less than a minute actually, and then I added my spinach. Once I add my spinach, I'm going to stir everything all together and then bring it down. I don't need to cook the spinach any more longer than this because I've already blanched it. It's not going to produce any water or make this sauce watery. So that's it here. Once I turn it, my stew is ready. Guys, this is it. I'm done. If you are still watching and if you haven't liked my video, please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe once again. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video.